All right. Not the ideal start. Not the ideal start. But we're still doing it our way. And at this point, this is our way. I just want to thank you for being here right now. I'm talking to you that are coming after the fact right now because I just went live. Nobody's here yet. It's a ghost town, but let me click a few things on right here just to get going. If you are watching live right now, I want to say that I appreciate you. I want to apologize out there to the East Coasters that I know have work in the morning. And those of you that are on unemployment, you can stay and chill a while. I appreciate all of you in different ways. Okay, look, listen. Listen, I want to talk about something right now that you're probably a little bit surprised that I'm addressing in the fashion that I am addressing it. So look, today's topic is the fact that Dana White is indeed a genius, and I got to give credit where credit is due. Is he like a sleazy, sketchy, lying, scummy, philandering, dishonest, selfish, like all those kind of like, sure, but that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about is one specific thing that he made very, very, very clear with the last couple of UFC events that had us over here scratching our beanies, wondering how could this happen. And I just figured it out. I figured it out last night, and it was like, it's way too late to stream. I thought about it when I was like going to sleep already, and then I texted it to myself so I wouldn't forget. Ray, what's up, Ray? Okay, we're at a different level right now. This is just like never before. Let's go. I'm at work. Finally, I can listen to something. By the way, do you believe Sean won? I didn't see your live. Sean Strickland? Well, according to what I thought was the judging criteria, me and everybody in the chat thought that Sean won. And 99% of people on Twitter that I saw after that, and Instagram and everywhere else, yeah, I thought Sean won. Now, after the fact, after hearing some things, looking into some things, I can now understand why he didn't. But yeah, I thought Sean won. Absolutely, Ray. I hope you have a good time out there. Stay safe. Put in a good shift. I don't know why I always get notifications when people post on Twitter, just like randomly. Like, why do you think I want to know what this fool said out of nowhere? Like, only notify me if someone's commenting on my stuff. But this is very interesting, by the way. This is very interesting timing. John Fitch just tweeted. Wait, he replied. Oh, he did reply to my tweet. What the heck? Wait, is this on my tweet? I'm over here getting all frustrated at John Fitch. No, because look, this is how Twitter works. A lot of the time, Twitter, like, if you guys are on Twitter, you know this. And look, I would never be on Twitter if I wasn't trying to rep the Mexican martial arts, just so you know. Like, I'm not trying to alienate anybody on here, but like, I'm not the kind of fool that would ever be on Twitter if I wasn't trying to spread the good news of the Mexican martial arts. You know, I'm not trying to get on there and just tell people who I want to vote for. You know, but that's crazy. So I'll tell you why, because I have some points I want to get through, and I'll get to this when I get to that. Then, but apparently, what I was trying to say is a lot of times Twitter will send you notifications saying like, "Hey, Rihanna just tweeted," and I'm like, I'm not even following Rihanna. Why are you telling me that? So I thought that's what this was right now, but I guess John Fitch actually tweeted, responded to my tweet. But I'll get to that point when I'm on that topic. So look, let me shout one more out. I was responding to Ray's comment, and then I saw the homie come through real quick. Hold up. Come on, love you, buddy. Hope 2023 is prosperous for you. You're the man. Love you, boy. Hey, I appreciate you. Respect. I say all the time, a pillar of this MMA community. I appreciate you very much. An OG to the game. And yeah, like, it was like last night. It was last night, like 3 a.m, probably. I was pacing my kitchen. I was like, this is probably the worst year of my life. So yeah, I hope 2023 is way better. I hope it's a lot better. I hope it's a lot more fruitful and prosperous. I'm gonna keep doing my best. You know, I'm not just someone sitting around on my hands saying, I hope someone comes along and helps me out. I hope someone comes along and saves me. You know, I'm not trying. I don't need you out there trying to be the Captain Save a Grandmaster. You know, I'm not trying to get anyone to live my life for me. I'm just trying to do my best and hope that good things come from that. You know, so I appreciate that very much. Come on. Mike Alfieri out here gifting memberships. Mike Alfieri. Oh, see, hey, if anyone deserves it, if anyone out there deserves it, Aziz, that's what's up. That's beautiful to see. Hey, what's up, Jennifer? Where we at? Chuck Fury at FuriousComedy.com on the YouTube community membership. Remember, all those in the community membership, don't forget to scope the community tab for extra content, and you can get in that Discord. Scroll down, you can find the Discord link, chat in there with the homies. So look, there's been a lot of shenanigans going on lately regarding the UFC events and the outcomes, the decisions. And, you know, we always hear that phrase, don't let it go to the judges. Don't let it go to the judges, which is a very weird thing for the president of a fight promotion to say. Why would you have judges then? Why? Well, I knew I was feeling weird. I didn't have my Cafe Jazz on. If you don't want your fight promotion to be dictated by such a direction, if you don't want it to go into that, if you don't want it going down that route, why are you even going to have that in place? If you don't like what happens, if you don't like the kind of things that go on after and the questions and people wondering what went wrong and people peeking into this and that, maybe structure things a little bit differently. Maybe don't even allow that to be an option. We used to have an existence before where that wasn't even a thing. So why do you think we absolutely have to have it now? I don't know if it's a legality thing. I don't know if it's a part of making it accessible in certain states. I don't know if it's a money thing, but clearly we don't need it. And more lately, we don't want it. Better Quest. Do you think that spending all the time with Dana at ESPN and Top Rank has taught Dana Arum how to run a promotion? I mean, I would automatically think, and I don't know if my brain is an overdrive right here. When I read a comment like this, I'm thinking that you're trolling and you're messing with me, and what you're really trying to tell me is that Dana has run a lot, is that Dana has actually learned from Arum. Wait a minute, did you actually say? Wait, isn't that fool's name Bob Arum? Am I just really out of the loop in boxing? Okay, so you're calling him. See, that's what I'm saying. I think you're messing with me and saying that they're like the same now because they're doing the same kinds of things. My brain is in overdrive right now, while at the same time I'm very tired and I need to go to sleep. So I think what you're saying and what I'm going to turn your comment into is, it's going full boxing, it's going full WWE. The other fools are rubbing off on these fools. It's like when like moms will tell their little kids, you know, like don't hang out with the bad crowd because they're going to rub off on you instead of you rubbing off on them, you know. They're just going to teach you in their ways. And it's like I said before, and somebody said it to me. I don't know if you're in the chat right now, but somebody mentioned to me a long time ago when I was talking about Dana White and the kind of things that he's been doing over time and changing the sport and making the fans really frustrated. They're like, well, you know that he's like trying to be Vince McMahon, right? That's his idol. That's his hero. He's trying more and more to be like Vince McMahon. That's who he looks up to. That's who he's trying to model everything he does after. And Vince McMahon supposedly has that famous quote. All right, that's what I thought, Better Quest. It kind of messed. It discombobulated my brain a little bit, but I got there. I ended up there. And I agree. Absolutely. Somebody was telling me of that famous quote that Vince McMahon said where I'm paraphrasing. It's like it's impossible to create a star when you can't dictate the outcome. And some of you in the game, some of you OGs know what I'm talking about, back to WWF days and stuff like that, that it's impossible to create a star and build a promotion around them and sell the toys and merch and all that when you're not able. It was you. Are you messing with me? Pim Wertuni? If it was, then that's cool. When you're unable to control the outcome because you need to be able to create the storyline. And I can see Dana White definitely following that. Now, look, I know right now it's a bunch of hearsay and it's very vague, and I haven't really even got to my points yet. So let me start talking about it right now. We've been watching events lately. It's been frustrating. We've been seeing with our own eyes dudes lose. I mean, we're talking about unanimous decision. Can you get more unanimous than thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people online all over the world, all in unison? But we're looking at three judges, one of which his own dad is saying, "Fool, you're dumb." If you don't know what I'm talking about, Big John McCartney, his son was one of the judges in the Paddy Pimblett fight, and Big John McCartney took his allowance away. He said he didn't know what he was talking about. He was like, that fool was out there doing pad work, son. He was hitting gloves the whole time. The only significant damage he did was to Jared Gordon's gloves, and the crowd was going wild, and you bought into the hype. But the real unanimous decision is everybody else in unison who felt the same way, who saw the same thing. And look, I want to tell you, last night, my pick was Jared. Was it last night? It was Jared Gordon. I'm all mixed up here because there's been so many instances. It's still Jared. I was going to say Jared Gordon. I picked Jared Cannonier. I thought he was going to win. Sean Strickland lately has been in a weird mind space. I've been telling people he went full Kevin Holland. Seems like every time he goes to a weigh-in, every time he goes face-to-face with someone, every time he's talking to someone, he's playing that game now. Like, oh, man, that guy's scary. He's telling fools like, hey, if you saw us in public, do you think I'd ever be able to beat him up? Look at this dude. He's scary. He's doing that game where he's trying to save face by preemptively acting like he knows he's going to get beat up anyway. Like if it's a foregone conclusion and like there's no surprises, he's doing that thing. You know what I'm talking about? He's playing that game and acting like he doesn't know what's up. And then he's talking about how, oh, you know, I don't even like this weight class anymore. It's too much. I'm probably going to go to 205. It was like he's already mentally checked out. He looked scared. He looked terrified walking down the hallway before the fight last night. And I thought Jared Cannonier was going to win. So you would think someone in my position would be like, I told you guys, even though I felt like, and all of us watching felt the whole fight like Strickland was winning. And it would have looked like I was like going back on my commentary the entire fight. I could have been like, yeah, I told you guys. I said Cannonier was going to win. But nah, at the end, I was like, this is dumb. Strickland won. It has nothing to do with bias. It has nothing to do with who your favorite fighters are, who you want to win. It's just about what we saw in the integrity of the sport. People paying their hard-earned money to get ESPN Plus, to buy pay-per-views, to watch my stream and throw money at me when I'm trying to give them the colorful commentary, just to get heartbroken. Now, look, I said it. There's a first point that I want to bring up that I think is very important for people to understand moving forward when they watch and consume the UFC. There's something very important that we need to understand right now about the UFC and the future of it as far as we're confirmed right now. We don't know how long this is going to last. Apparently, the rules change like every 6 months. They just rehaul everything. Everything we thought we knew changes. Right now, the way that everything stands right now in the UFC, Big Tuna 6'9", can you please do the federal Dana voice, please? Oh, I'm going to get to it. I will. Big Tuna 6'9". Stay here for a few more minutes. Federal! I'll get to it right now. Hold on. Right now, you're not watching a mixed martial arts fight. When you tune into the UFC, it is not a mixed martial arts fight anymore. We can't call it that. Right now, UFC fights, the way they're being scored, the way that they are being judged right now, they are glorified kickboxing matches. No pun intended. They are kickboxing matches. If I am wrong, please tell me in detail. They are kickboxing matches unless you get a submission. That's what we are watching right now. Think about it. It doesn't matter how many takedowns you get. It doesn't matter if you do anything with the takedowns, because a lot of people say, well, he didn't do anything with them. Why are you going to cut the takedown if he didn't do anything? It doesn't even matter if he does anything with them. You need to know that, especially if you're out there betting. Doesn't matter how many takedowns. Doesn't matter if they do anything with them. Doesn't matter if they have control time on the cage, on the ground. Control time as in pressuring the opponent, stalking him, hunting him down, keeping the pace. Doesn't matter if he was on top of him the whole time with his forearm across his throat. Doesn't matter if he was on the bottom the whole time trying to sink in the triangle and that fool was almost losing consciousness in and out. Doesn't matter if he was constantly moving around, fighting for position, looking like the aggressor, going from change to change, staying super active. Doesn't matter. If there's no submission, none of that matters. Doesn't count. UFC fights currently are kickboxing matches unless there's a submission. Unless you tap the fool out or make him go to sleep, nothing you do on the ground matters. It doesn't matter anymore. So this is not a mixed martial arts match that you're watching anymore. It's a kickboxing match unless there's an actual submission. That's what we're watching. Everyone always calls Dominic Cruz the smartest man in MMA. And you know what? It's funny. It seems like, I'm making a generalization here. It seems like most people don't like Dominic Cruz. People are always talking about how they don't want to hear him talk. They want to turn it off. They want to lower him. Now, look, I know there's some people I'm on the same side with here. I know there's some people here, some of the homies that don't like this. So I'm not trying to come at you or anything like that. I'm just speaking broadly right now. It's interesting to me that for the most part, people never want to hear people that are telling them the hard, dirty truth, you know? People that are speaking the truth are always getting silenced. That's just the way that it goes. The masses want to hear what they want to hear. They want to hear what makes them feel comfortable. They want to hear what accommodates their lifestyle. They want to hear what feels good. They want to be affirmed. They want to be patted on the back. They don't want to be told the truth. They don't want to have to compromise. They don't want to have that bright line shine into their eyes. It doesn't feel good. They feel convicted. And that's what Dominic Cruz does. And he was talking on and on because he's upset about it. He won't shut up about the Paddy Pimblett fight. And so much of the event last night, Dominic Cruz was going on and we already know takedowns don't matter anymore. Well, we already know that control time doesn't matter. We've been learning that recently. Doesn't matter if you're in a 15-minute fight and you got 10 minutes of control time. Doesn't matter. We've been learning that, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen? He was talking about it constantly. It's a well-known thing now. And yeah, people don't like him. People get annoyed, but he's often referred to by some of the most intelligent people in MMA as the most intelligent man in MMA. I think we should agree that this dude knows what he's talking about. You might not be an all-out fan. You might not love the dude. You might not want to buy his footwork plan or whatever. But that fool has some things to say. He knows what he's talking about. He's got it up here. You're watching kickboxing matches right now unless there's a submission. And if you're talking about damage, yeah, but like Sean Strickland landed the jab, landed. Why didn't he win that? Well, this is where it gets a little bit muddy. This is where it gets very muddy right here. People are talking about the fights being controlled by damage. They're saying that's the new criteria. Damage. And I was saying yesterday, that's probably the dumbest way you could possibly judge a fight, by damage. And it seems like the only people who disagree are the people whose guy recently won. Of course, you're going to root for it if it went in your favor. And I know it could seem like it on the flip side. I'm only rooting for it because it's not in my favor. But remember, I picked Cannonier to win. Now, I want to share something with you. I think I got screenshots. First of all, here's what I posted. And I'm not expecting this to change your mind or anything. I'm just trying to give you some content here, and I'm just trying to show you some things that I thought were interesting, that I thought were funny, that I thought were good points. So look at this right here. Last night on Twitter after the event, I posted a tweet and I said, so significant strikes aren't significant anymore. We're judging by something immeasurable. Damage. I saw this morning somebody posted this and I thought it was hilarious. Well, okay, so let me talk about that point real quick though. Some people might get a little bit confused about what do you mean damage is immeasurable? First of all, I can't believe I had to explain myself. Damage is unbelievably immeasurable. Are you a parent? And if you're not, have you ever had a parent? Have you ever seen a parent and or a child? Have you ever seen when a kid falls down and the parent says, "Are you okay?" Have you ever been out chilling with some friends or seen some people, or you're at school or something, some girl trips and falls down and scrapes her knee, her friends, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" Now, why would people do something like that? That's weird, huh? Because if we're able to measure damage, why are we going to have to ask if it hurts? I mean, am I onto something right here? Am I making you real uncomfortable? I've seen that time and time and time again my entire life. Somebody hurt, somebody walks into a door, somebody bumps their shoulder, somebody steps on a Lego. Oh man, are you all right? Why would we have to ask that? Because we are physically, literally 100% incapable of feeling what that other human being is feeling. I know we talk about living vivaciously through them and stuff like that. Like, oh man, you went on vacation, that's cool, send me a photo, whatever. But we can't feel what they're feeling. It's impossible. We literally have to ask them, hey, can you verbally give me insight into what you're feeling? Because there's no possible human way that my body can experience what your body is feeling. I don't understand. Can you tell me? Yet that's the way that 3 different individuals are judging entire fights, entire events, where people are putting their blood, sweat, and tears in this, their careers. They're dieting. They can't even go to McDonald's. They're missing birthday parties. They're cutting weight. They're in the gym. They're working on their craft. They're paying thousands and thousands of dollars to gyms and coaches and trainers and all this. It's their livelihoods. People are here watching, spending their hard-earned money ordering pay-per-views, signing up to ESPN Plus, driving to the fights, buying tickets. And the judges are sitting there like, huh. I feel like it's subjective. It's become subjective MMA. I feel like that guy's more hurt than that guy. Yeah, but this fool got 150 strikes and this guy got 12. Yeah, but that's not how I feel. There's nothing scientific about this. There's nothing mathematical about this. It has to be subjective. By default, it has to be a guess. It's a guessing game. There's no way of knowing what the person felt. I was thinking about this earlier. Oh yeah. So I put so significant. Oh no. Let me follow this with you. So I put that, and then somebody posted this. I thought it was funny. I wanted to give him a shout out. Reverend Red. I don't know if you're here right now. He said, "Does that mean UFC is gonna start showing HP bars?" I thought that was hilarious. I started laughing. I was like, exactly. That's how stupid it is. I mean, let's take it. I talk about this kind of thing all the time. Let's follow it to its logical conclusion. Because sometimes people just put something dumb out there. And they're like, this is just the way it is. That's it. And everyone just follow suit. Just fall in line. Don't ask questions. But then when you carry it out, it's like, let's step back a little bit. Look at the big picture. You see how dumb this is? I started laughing when I saw that. Like, we gonna show HP bars or what? And then someone else sent this. El Malefico. That said this, I can't remember what video game this is from. If anybody knows, let me know. But that started making me laugh. The outline of a body in a fight when a dude gets repeated leg kicks, it turns yellow and then is that from UFC 4? I don't know why it looks so familiar. But they started sending stuff like this, and I was like, that's hilarious. WWE? It's a WWE game. And then John Fitch. Let me screenshot it for you. I mean, I'm screenshotting the other ones, and I just want you guys to know it's real, because some of you guys are probably gonna be like, "Oh snap, John Fitch knows that fool." So I put this. Yeah, me and John Fitch go way back, I put, so significant strikes aren't significant anymore. We're judging by something immeasurable, damage. And John Fitch says, very frustrating when people use the word damage. The word damage isn't anywhere in the scoring criteria at all. And I was telling you guys earlier, it's very funny that everyone comes out of the woodwork. I can't tell you how many people I've been seeing in the comment sections. Oh, casuals, bunch of casuals crying. Look at all these casuals. And people always do that, like when they're trying to be condescending. And I don't even know if they know they're doing this. It's a very condescending thing, and some of them know they're doing it, and that's why they do it. When they say something, and then they put like the little LOL, or they put the smiley face, and you think just throwing a little thing out there like that's gonna do something, and it's gonna give you like the upper hand. But they're out here calling everyone casuals, telling everyone get over it, your guy lost and all that. But it's like you're literally only saying that. First of all, my guy didn't win. I picked Cannonier. It's just that when the fight was going on, I wanted to be truthful and have some integrity, and I called it like it was. I said Cannonier was going to win. But it's when their guy wins. Because just like John Fitch is talking about right here, it doesn't talk about that in the rules, but When your guy wins, you're like, well, that's the rules. That's the rules. That's how they do it. Everybody knows that's how it gets scored. Well, you know now because you're happy because your guy won and you're saying that's how it is. That's how it is. You're falling in line. I mean, I'm not going to go into that today, but those are the same kind of people that fall in line with everything else. Whether we're talking about UFC, whether we're talking about relationships and, being all dominated and stuff like that, whether we're talking about the government, whether we're talking about your health and stuff like that, that's all I'm going to talk about. But there's a certain kind of person that's like, that's what we're doing. That's what you guys said. All right, let's fall in line. Let's do what they said because that's what they told us is a new thing today. Nah, show me the papers. Show me the papers. Show me the birth certificate. So look, people out here talking about damage, and it is very weird because look at, like, you could look at that. That sounds hard, right? Bunch of Charlie horses. I'm gonna feel that tomorrow, right? Am I? What is it? I'm like Jim Carrey out here. You can't tell how much that hurts. How much damage did I take right now? How much damage is that? Is that gonna hurt me? Is that gonna sting? If I was doing that to my 6-year-old nephew, he's dead. He's dead. But I could do this all night long. No problem. Hey, everybody tell me, how much did that hurt? That was like 4 HP. How much did that hurt? Please, somebody tell me. How much damage did I do right now? How much pain am I in? Can you tell me? Please, give me some numbers. Because that's what's happening right now. Nobody's out here giving you illustrations. Everybody's yapping. And it's too much noise because then everybody starts talking about each other's moms and stuff like that. Get in some of these Twitter threads. We get in here talking about damage and everyone's like, oh yeah, why damaged your mom? Fool? And like that. It's like, what are we doing? Let's talk about the topic at hand. When I start giving you some crazy illustrations like that, how much did that hurt? Am I damaged right now? Somebody else couldn't take that. I could take it if I had a baby right here and I went like that. That's going to hurt. Baby might die. I don't know. But I could take it. Everybody has a different pain threshold. Look at that. You see that pink? Did you see that? Look at that. Now, I tried to get a ring light that was orange. I tried to get an orange one because this light makes me look super white. Makes me look like Casper. But it helps with my illustration right here. Look at how pink I'm getting. But I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm going to go get some Chinese food right now. I'm living my life. I'm not going to go to the hospital. Please tell me, do you have any insight into my pain threshold? Do I need to see a doctor? Because this is exactly what's going on in the UFC right now. We got people sitting there trying to decide how much somebody was hurt or not hurt, therefore he should lose the fight. Can you guys even tell me? We had 3 judges. 3 judges in there, but we got 625 people right here. Can you guys tell me how much I'm hurt? Does it seem like I'm hurt at all? Looks like I'm blushing. Looks like I'm blushing right now. Am I hurt? I'm fine. I'm okay. You know what I think is even more interesting? What's that fool's name? Rafa something. Rafa Garcia lost 20% of blood. Did you guys know this? Did you check that after the fight? Rafa Garcia lost 20% of blood. The cut on his head opened up an artery, and it took him almost 2 hours to close it. That fool almost died. Do you guys remember that he won the fight? He won the fight. He had an artery open up. It took him almost 2 hours to close the artery. He lost 20% of blood. He almost died. I think he took more damage than the other fool. Should Garcia have lost? Are we talking about damage or not? We have to go point by point. We have to address these things. We can't get lost in the distractions. People talking about each other's moms and this and that, calling people casuals, making fun of their profile picture. Hey, fool, you just made your profile private. It was private to begin with, fool. I saw someone doing that the other day. I mean, let's be consistent. Garcia won. Should he have lost because he almost died? The other fool didn't almost die. The other fool didn't lose 20% of blood. The other fool didn't have an artery open up that it took the doctors 2 hours to close. So should Garcia have lost? Because if not, by the way, I don't think he should have lost. That's stupid. But if we're being consistent, then Cannonier should not have won. We have to judge fights by something that's measurable. Controlling a fight, the outcome of a, well, okay, well, look, let me put it this way. Judging and scoring a fight by damage is the most subjective way to do it, which is why it's brilliant. It's brilliant what Dana White has done. It's brilliant. Because Dana White has come up with a way that he could control who wins and loses fights. Just like his idol, Vince McMahon. This way he could create stars. When you have a method, a scoring method that is this absolutely subjective, it puts people in a position where they can't legitimately question it, even though the baseline itself is illogical and stupid. Once you have something illogical and stupid in place, it becomes almost impossible to question it because your baseline itself is illogical and stupid. So when Dana White gets into a position where no one finished each other, nobody tapped out, nobody got knocked out, and even that, I mean, there's two different camps you could be in. Does Dana White only control the fights after no one was able to finish it by submission or a knockout, or does he even control that? And some people will be like, how dare you even come up with such a thing? And we talked about this on one of the last streams. I touched on this. It is, I'm not saying Dana White fixes the fights. I'm not saying Dana White completely controls it in that aspect and he's rigging it. And I'm not saying he's not. Because I want to be completely neutral when I make this point. It's super naive to think that it's impossible. It's super naive to assume that he wasn't just because of the threat that he's always talking about. You think I would do that? You think I would be that dumb? You think I will go to federal prison? Have you seen him talking about it over and over? I talked about it last time. He's always going on and on and on about federal prison. He's always emphasizing it so much. Like, if you don't know, that's a vacation. We were talking about it last time. State prison is far worse than federal prison. County jail is worse than federal prison. I'm telling you, they got the sleep number beds in federal prison and 60-inch big screen TVs. Dana White's over here trying to threaten everybody and distract everybody, talking about federal prison. Did you hear? I said federal. It sounds intimidating. He puts the word federal in there. It's not. It's a vacation. Has Dana White ever said how he's dying? Well, what? I have been hearing him talking about his health and stuff. I don't know. He's trying to gain sympathy. I don't know. Club man. So it is naive for people to assume that it's impossible. It is naive for people to assume that nothing like this would ever go on because it goes on everywhere. It goes on in boxing. It goes on. Where do you work at? It goes on at your job. The politics, the bureaucracy, the agenda, it goes on everywhere. It goes on at your church. It goes on in your neighborhood. Nobody likes you. They just pretend. It goes on everywhere. It goes on when you're waiting at the Cheesecake Factory and you see people keep cutting in front of you because they know the hostess. It happens everywhere you go. These fights would be scored. It would be more accurate to score these fights in the American Idol type fashion. Because there are going to be some people who, no matter what, are going to stick by their fighter and who are going to be willing to override their integrity. And who are going to be willing to say stuff that's not true. But the majority comes out in the end. And we've been seeing that on social media. We've been seeing that online lately. When there's an injustice, when something goes wrong. Yeah, there was people saying that Sean O'Malley won against Peter Yan. There were people out there saying that he won. But the vast majority knew that he didn't win. And they were clowning on him for it. And his fans, whatever the percentage is, the kind of fans he has, not only are they there, they're loud. So it seemed like there was more of them. But even though there were people saying Sean O'Malley won, Clearly, the vast majority knew that he didn't. Even though there's some really annoying people saying that Paddy Pimblett won, clearly the majority are saying that he did it. Even though there's some people saying that they can understand the Cannonier decision and he should have won, clearly everybody is in the majority saying that Sean Strickland won. The truth always ends up coming out. When you give everybody the full voice and you're not trying to limit it, we go that American Idol fashion. That's going to give us more accuracy. That's going to be better than what we're getting right now. People have different pain thresholds. People have different scar tissue. I'm telling you, I said it the other night. Every time it rains, Nate Diaz starts bleeding. We're going to hold that against him? Doesn't mean he's hurt. Doesn't mean he's damaged. He's working with a different type of canvas. He has more wear and tear. I wouldn't call that damage in the way that they use the word when they're scoring fights, though. I wrote something down right here because I don't want to forget it. I said, look, if they want to judge, if they want to start judging a certain way and they want to change things, I'm okay with it if it's all made clear. And we discard everything else and we clear everything else up and there's no miscommunications or confusion. As long as it's all made clear. Because we're playing a game right now where not everyone is clear on the rules. People are running around on social media, running their mouths, talking about casuals, but clearly even the fighters don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people on here going through these flame wars, talking about each other and doing this and that, sending the memes to each other, disrespecting each other. Casual, you're a casual, you don't know what you're talking about. You probably barely started watching UFC when Dustin Poirier broke Connor's leg, whatever latest relevant thing is, I don't know. But even the fighters don't know. Fighter after fighter after fighter on social media saying this fool should have won, that fool shouldn't have, was this, what's happening to our sport, what's wrong with the judges. It's not just casuals. It's not just people at home with keyboard warriors or whatever. Even the fighters don't know. The coaches don't know. You see coaches in the corner saying, I don't know how they're scoring this. I don't know what's going on. They just said that last night. Sean Strickland's coach told them last night, I don't know how they're going to score this. And I remember hearing them say that. And I even said it on the stream. Oh, they're trying to put him in a good mental place so that he doesn't get a big ego. Because he's clearly dominating is what I said. They're just saying that to try to not let him get to get a big head and like coast. But now it's like, oh no, they weren't. Even the coaches don't know. The commentators don't know. Time and time again, we're seeing the commentators like, I thought this guy won. What's up with this? You see Joe Rogan rolling his eyes. You see Dominic Cruz ready to double leg Padwork Pimblett. All these commentators saying, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how they're going to score this. They're trying to give their opinion during the event, but then they're saying, but we don't know what the judges are going to do. They're talking about significant strikes, how one dude is clearly in the lead. And then right after that, they have to cap it with, yeah, but we don't know what the judges are going to do. This is just like, we don't know. The commentators. So it's like they're useless now. The only time the fans act like they actually know what's going on and they're actually in the loop about what the rules are is when their guy wins. Other than that, we're all scratching our beanies over here. We don't know what's going on. I think I was talking for a long time and I missed some things come through here. Hold up. Big Cheese 47 just joined the YouTube membership. Thank you, Big Cheese 47. I appreciate it. And Gimzo Guy just joined the YouTube membership. Thank you very much. And Tons. Thank you, Tons. Thank you, Tons. I want to tell all three of you, don't forget to scope the community tab so you can find extra behind-the-scenes content, bloopers, extras. I think I have a couple songs and stuff on there. I have some interesting things. I also have a Discord link where you can get in there and chat with the homies. Chuck Fury at FuriousComedy.com. Padwork Pimblett disagrees with everything you said. Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I put it in my lengthy video, the case against Paddy Pimblett. I mean, look, when he put out that podcast where he was telling all these lies about Ariel, remember, he wasn't lying to Ariel. He wasn't lying to Dana. He was lying to you guys, his fans. Because who's the podcast made for? He's trying to put content out to his fans. He straight up lied to you guys. Ariel had receipts. Ariel had voicemails. Paddy Pimblett has already established himself as a dishonest dude who's gonna do anything it takes to get ahead. He said it as clear as day. As long as I got that green check mark next to my name, I don't care whatever else happens. Fill in the blank. So look, let me reiterate. We're watching kickboxing matches right now, unless you get a submission. Your takedowns don't matter. Your control time doesn't matter on the cage or on the canvas or even on the feet. Doesn't matter if you're on top about to submit the guy the whole time. Doesn't matter unless there's an actual submission. It's only about what you do on the feet. But that being said, and I'm going to tell you, I thought we kind of learned what we needed to know after the Gordon Pimblett fight. Nah, Charlie, we learned more last night because we saw how much more Sean Strickland did on the scorecards. And I thought that was all he needed to do. I thought he's like, you know what? Because of these judges, forget the takedowns, forget the control time. I'm just gonna trade with them. And even that wasn't enough. And here's what we learned. They're gonna stick to the damage thing. They're gonna stick to the damage thing. Now, you might think they'll be like, okay, the dude that had more strikes did the most damage. But it's too subjective for that. That would be too logical. That would be far too logical. So you got to remember, you could have 150 strikes against 2. If the judges want to act like those 2 strikes were more damaging, that's it. They're going to give it to that fool. Super soft. Yo, Kanye hates the men in tiny hats, but not the one with them beanies, bro. Feliz Navidad. I know what you mean by the men in the tiny hats, but who's the men in the beanies? The men in the beanies. He doesn't like grandmasters? He doesn't like me and the MMA guru? Gotcha. That's dirty. Yeah, he's a little bit all over the place. He's a little bit all over the place. And I don't have to feel any way about it because I never cared about Kanye West whatsoever. I think there were a lot of people that absolutely loved his music and his clothing line and stuff like that. So now they don't know how to feel. I never cared about that fool. When everybody was listening to Kanye West, I was listening to the Beatles. So I'm kind of out of that game. But yeah, that fool's all over the map. That fool's life is as subjective as the UFC judging right now. Gimzo guy, what's up? Thank you again. Thank you. So look, I have to give the credit where it's due. Dana White fully understands from the advice of Vince McMahon that in order to control organization properly, in order to create a star and really mold things the way that you want it to be, you have to be able to control the outcomes of these fights. You have to be able to lift the guy up and even drop fools when you need to for the greater good, you know? So Dana White has come up with a perfect, brilliant way. And we already know that Dana White's a sketchy individual as well. You saw him stealing my intellectual properties. The Dana White, you remember that? The Dana White power slap? See that fool smiling, proud of himself? Dana White power slap, stealing my intellectual properties. I already told you I was going to be contacting my public defender so I could get my money. And then, unfortunately, my public defender said that that's not part of their services, but I'm going to keep trying. And then, remember, I went to Rumble? And I was like, I'm going to start a new life over here. I'm going to start all over, right? And then he follows me to Rumble. And it was the very next day. For those of you that don't have the full context, it was the very, very, very next day that I started my weekly stream on Rumble. The very next morning. You can't write this kind of stuff. You can't. Dana White was writing it in his notes. He was planning it. He was scheming. Koki 007 missed the fight because wifey took me out to dinner. Shaking my head. Can't believe they stole it from Strickland. Could it be because he's messy with the press? I don't know. Maybe it's because he's white. I don't know. That would have made everything better if Strickland after the fight was like, it's because I'm white. You guys doing this because I'm white. I hope you had a good time, Koki 007. You probably had a better time than us. It was frustrating. It was frustrating. Man, out here trying to keep the white man down. Always. You would think Dana White would be trying to help him. I appreciate you being here, Koki 007. Dana White has concocted ingenious way of being able to control the fights by scoring them in the most subjective way possible. I was talking about it just a minute ago. How much damage am I taking right now? How much does this hurt? Huh? How much does that hurt? How much damage am I taking? Can you guys feel that right now? How do you score this? How much pain am I enduring right now? Can a human being look at another human being and know how hurt they are? This is what we're doing. Millions and millions of people's dollars are going into this for 3 people to be like, oh, I think that's how much he's hurt. Cannonier was the one that looked super sluggish, mouth wide open. Again, I'm not trying to alienate the with mouths wide open under the UFC legs with mouths wide open. I breathe with my mouth open too. I tell you, I got those tiny baby nostrils. My nostrils never fully developed. I got the nostrils of a 3-month-old baby. So I'm not hating, but I'm saying he's the one that was walking around looking like Ozzy Osbourne. Cannonier's the one that was walking around looking sluggish, looking tired, looking that he had nothing left to give. He was the one that was stumbling over. He was the one that was doubling over. I even said it during the stream. Look at that fool's doubling over. That fool's slipping. Is he going to go down? What's happening to him? He looked like, I mean, if we're talking about damage, he looked like he was taking more damage. I don't think that's the way that we should be judging it, but it looked like it. Strickland was putting the pressure, hitting him, and that fool was getting... Watch the footage again. I always say, don't just listen to me. Watch the footage again. If anybody looked like they were getting sluggish, tired, rocked, more damage caused to them, it was Cannonier. And I want to say it one more time. I picked Cannonier to win. So it's not like I'm biased here. David Zimmerman, Dana White schemes more than Wile E. Coyote. Serio. So look, I just want to tell you guys, Ordinary Pete, 9 months, had an MMA baby already. Punch yourself in the left eye if it don't hurt. You know that was gonna hurt. Here's the problem. I don't want to knock off my headphones. That's why I'm only smacking myself. I was going to sock myself in the beanie, but I was like, I'm either going to break my headphones. I was trying to choreograph, like right before I went live. I was like, that's not going to work. Because I already knew I was going to give you guys the illustration. And I got a decent threshold, but I also got a decent left hand, you know? So look, I'm gonna summarize it right here. And then I'm going to go eat something, all right? We might not like it. It might be dirty. It might be devious. It might show the entire lack of integrity from the UFC organization right now. But Dana White has done something brilliant. He has figured out a way that where it... Look, again, I told you, we don't know if knockouts and submissions are controlled as well. That's a little harder to control. It's a little harder to control, but it can be done. These are fighters in there. These are people who are willing to get stuff broken and bleed and cut and stuff like that. So maybe even submissions and knockouts could be controlled. But even if not, let's say once it goes to the decision, he wants to be able to control it. He has come up with the most perfect way to control the outcome of a fight by having it scored and judged in the most subjective way possible, in a way that's completely immeasurable. Like we touched on earlier. What we're going to do, put in HP bars? There's no way of actually literally knowing how much damage someone took. Someone has to guess. Someone has to say, I feel like they took this much. And that is absolutely inaccurate. Lady and the Cat, I definitely picked Strickland. I was right. Absolutely. Night Light 13, GM, you know the UFC has to like you for you to win by decision in a close fight, but I don't think anyone should let it go to the judges. And look, I don't think anyone should let it go to the judges either. And my solution for that, I don't think we should have judges. I think the UFC having judges is one of the worst things they ever did to the sport. So, yeah, when Dana White was like, don't let it go. Hey, Dana, get rid of the judges. Like I said, the outcomes would be more accurate if we did American Idol type judging and just let the people call in and vote. Because the unanimous decision is really the people that you see online talking about who really won. Not these 3 dudes who don't know what they're talking about. Luke Babbage made it to a live stream. Merry Christmas, GM. Merry Christmas, Luke. I hope you make it to another one. I hope you make it to another one as well, because I'm about to wrap this one up. I hope you're able to make it to another one. If not, maybe you could just go back and watch the replay. And look, I always say this. Thank you again, Luke. I always say this. If the UFC would just be consistent and they would just say what it is, if they would just say, hey, fighters, hey, coaches, hey, commentators, hey, fans, hey, everybody, this is what how we're judging it now. This is what counts. This is what doesn't count. Then at least it will be an equal playing field. But Dana White is always trying to make everything as vague as he possibly can. He doesn't want open scoring. He doesn't want to let them know what's going on in between rounds. He doesn't even want to let them know what the rules are. A lot of people, they bring you into their workforce and they're like, read the handbook. I don't even want you to come in until you read the handbook. You know what? Come in your first couple of days. All you're going to do is sit there in the break room and read the handbook. Dana White's like, nah, just, we ran out of handbooks. You don't need one. It's cool. Dana White doesn't want his fighters to know what the rules are. And if you missed it, I'll say it one more time. It's not just angry fans who are mad when their guy loses. It's the fighters themselves and the coaches and the commentators who will say it on the live broadcast, who will say it on Twitter, who will say it on YouTube, who will say it in interviews. How are they scoring this? We don't know what's going on. Don't you think, of all people, the fighters and the coaches and the trainers and the commentators should know how fights are being scored? They don't. They don't. If you decide, is that significant or not? Or are you just happy when your guy wins, even though that's the case? That fighters themselves and the trainers and the coaches and the commentators don't even know the rules and how things are being scored. Are you okay with that as long as your guy wins? You have to answer that question for yourself. It's extremely vague, and that's what's allowing Dana White to manipulate things in the way that he wants to hit the certain markets or whatever and whatnot. That's the climate that we're living in right now. I want to thank everybody for being here right now. I'm going to go ahead and check out. If you want some more Mexican martial arts content, you could go scope out some of my recent shorts or whatever if you haven't seen them. I'm going to be making some more stuff this week, hopefully. And let me leave you with one last thing right here, because I know Christmas is coming soon. And if you try to order some stuff, it might not get here in time. But you know what will get here in time? If you want me to shout out your loved one with the cameo right there, that will be there in time. So don't even trip. Don't hesitate. Hit me up, and I can say whatever. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You could get one and send it to Dana White, telling him to fix his scoring. I don't know. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts. I appreciate all of you being here tonight. I know some of you got to wake up early. Be safe out there. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Like.